Hey everyone, welcome to episode 4, or segment 4, of our super replay of Zelda Link to the Past. For this segment, I am joined by Joe Juba.
The fabulous and amazing Joe Juba.
I was about to say.
Uh-huh.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
So, we've kind of gone through everyone's history with this game. What's your personal history with it?
Man. I think the first time I played this game was when, this is before I even owned a Super Nintendo. I had to rent one every now and then before I saved up enough money for it. And this was something where, like, I was only allowed to rent a couple games, right? And for the first few times I rented the Super Nintendo, it was pretty much Legend of Zelda and Street Fighter 2 were the ones that I would, like, rent every time. Then once I beat Legend of Zelda, I started renting F-Zero instead. But I didn't really get a whole lot of variety in there. I was pretty consistent with pretty much those three games. But
pretty good choices.
Yeah, I had a good time with it. Of course, playing Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo, like I played it in arcade, obviously, but I played it the most on Super Nintendo. So that was one of those cases. Like, I'm one of those people who actually prefers not to use arcade sticks.
Oh, really?
When playing Street Fighter. I'm much better at it if I'm using a controller, because I spent so much more of my time, like, learning to play that game with a controller instead of the sticks.
Oh yeah, so even with 4, I'm kind of like you. I spent most of my time as a kid playing it on Super Nintendo, and I never played Street Fighter in the arcade much at all. But yeah, now I can only play Street Fighter 4 on with a tournament stick, like with that Mad Catz one.
Oh yeah. You never played it in the arcade, huh? I suppose you're a little bit younger than I am.
My big one in the arcade was Mortal Kombat. I was constantly playing that in the arcade, and I actually bought the Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet in college. So,
oh wow,
Mortal Kombat, I'm definitely more accustomed to the arcade.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean that's the only way I play Street Fighter now.
One thing I remember very distinctly about Link to the Past here is so. We didn't see it on your character select screen, but normally when once you've beaten the game, it gives you a little number, right? That's like, which seems to be a total of like the number of times that you've died or saved, kind of the number of times that you had to reload or something. And of course, the first time I beat this game, it was some ridiculously high number. It was like 150 something. Because because it counts every time that you choose save and quit. Yeah. Also, like hit select here quick. Right. See, it gives you this. So you continue game and everything's fine. If you do save and quit, it saves all your progress, but it also restarts you at the top of the Dark World Temple there.
Actually, you get a choice. You can do the top of that, or you can start like at your house, or like the sanctuary or mountain, like depending on Light World or Dark World.
Okay, so it starts you at a bunch of different places. The point being is that this game doesn't have, or before you get the flute, there's no really like good fast travel. So if you get sick of like hoofing it all over the place, the save and quit option is a good way to, like, get from one end of the world to another without having to actually run the whole time. So yeah, anyway, so I would do that, and baha.
You're supposed to do that.
I know. Yeah, so like save and quit was the only way that you could do that, but every time you do it, it counts. It adds another 1 to your tally on that,
Yep.
Anyway, the whole point of this long story that I'm droning on about is that I hated seeing that huge number by my character. It felt like it was some sort of like, it was sullying my gaming reputation. So one day when I was sick and staying home from school, I actually started up a game fresh and decided that I wanted to get a 0 on that number. Like I wanted a perfect record on this game. So I pretty much spent the whole afternoon. I think it probably took me about somewhere between 4 and 5 hours. I was really familiar with the game at that point. And pretty much burned through it without dying, without saving and quitting, and went through the whole game and actually did manage to get my, little Joe/Link with the little 0 number at his feet. So I was pretty happy about that.
You still have that cartridge?
I still have the cartridge. I doubt that the battery backup is still solid on it.
I'd be surprised. Like, I've got my original one that's still got my saves from 91, 92.
Oh man, I should pull that out at some point. I've also got, an old Final Fantasy III Super Nintendo cartridge that has like a couple files that are maxed out at like 99.59 on the timer and stuff like that too.
So are you like, I've done blog posts about it, and like everyone knows about my achievement obsession and everything. Like, do you get like you kind of bring this up sometimes, like with your 1,000 Club, the games you have 1,000 achievements on, or the 0 in this? It seems more specified with you as to games you like playing, though. Is that pretty much the case?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Like if a game comes out and I really like it, I want to spend as much time with it as I can. Kind of like that feeling that like if you're reading a really good book, you don't like it when the book's over. Like,
right.
It's satisfying on one level, obviously, but on another level, it's like you're having a good time with that. And the great thing about games is they're actually a little like, even more so than a book. Like, it's a lot easier to revisit that experience, and that's one of the that's one of the things that keeps me going about achievements in this, or like achievements or sort of obsessively seeking perfect records on stuff, is that it just is another reason to keep going, to prolong an experience that I'm enjoying.
So is there ever an experience with you where it's like, let's say a game that you really aren't enjoying playing? Like, let's say for some reason you're playing some like NCAA football game. I don't know if that's really your type of game, but
do you need help here? By the way, you don't really seem to know what you're doing.
I need to go outside and I need to fall down up there. This is a tricky one. You got to go in and out and fall in the right places.
Like you say that like you're confident just now, but you spent the last like 3 minutes just aimlessly wandering between rooms.
It's one of the trickier ones. I do have the occasional problem with this one.
Okay.
I beat this game in one sitting in 5 hours, too.
You say it's one of the tricky ones, like this is all part of some process. That's not part of some process. You were just confused.
Yes, I was confused.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to clear up. That's all.
Yeah,
all right.
No, I'm on the right track here.
So anyway, achievements.
Yeah, where were we going? Okay, so let's say you're playing like, some game that you normally wouldn't have an interest in, NCAA football or something, and you're 3/4 into to a game, and there's a 50-point achievement for beating this game.
Yeah.
Or for finishing this game and winning or whatever.
Okay.
Do you even do it there at that point? Like, let's say you're just hating the game, not having any fun.
No.
Would you stick it out for a quarter to get that achievement?
No. I mean, there are. Oh wait. Go.
Yeah. I know. You caught me there.
Okay.
Go on.
Hold on. No. Hold on.
I need the big key.
Yeah.
It clearly said I need the big key before I can open it.
Oh, the giant. You don't have that yet. I'm sorry. I'm just coming in on this session, so I don't know how far along you are.
Oh no, like you're catching the beginning of this dungeon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, So the giant size of the treasure chest wasn't a big key in for you that you needed that key.
I keep forgetting that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I need to go in there.
Anyway, to answer your question, no, I will not play a game any longer than I want to for the sake of an achievement.
Even if it's just 5 minutes for a significant achievement?
5 minutes of my time is worth more than a worthless little than a worthless little bloop on my gamer score,
That's probably the way it should be, I think.
Yeah.
And, that's what I've kind of been trying to get out of lately. This actually ties right into this game. I bought 3D Dot Game Heroes.
Oh, yeah.
Last night. And I was playing it, and I, usually in the past, I would go to an achievement site and immediately read every single achievement there is to get. Mm-hmm. And I didn't do that with this. I didn't go to, PS3 trophies or any sites like that. Mm-hmm. And kind of having fun just going through it. And when it does pop up, it's a nice little thing. But I like not knowing what to go for and just getting rewarded,
Yeah, I mean, there is something to be said about knowing what to go for on those too. That's actually one of the things I like about achievements, is the way that they can encourage you to try things that you wouldn't necessarily do. Not so like the payoff there is that like what's important isn't necessarily that you're getting an achievement or a gamer score, but that you're actually doing something in the game that you wouldn't be doing otherwise.
Right. I think a lot of those are probably better for a second playthrough, too. Like, I mean, if it's a weapon you're not normally going to use, like get 50 kills with a shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
Probably better do that second time through and just play it normally the first time.
I'm sure there are some exceptions to this, but almost all of the games that I have 1,000 achievement points in are games that I got that on second playthroughs.
Right.
Just because, like, it's hard to really enjoy a game for what it is. And really immerse yourself in it if you're worried about this sort of arbitrary external thing, like, hey, some points or something.
Right.
Because let me think. Like, I guess my 1,000 points in Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's the one thing that I have to acknowledge is a little bit hypocritical about this for me too, because like that one was just for points. There's no two ways around that.
So
one.
why that one? You said you wouldn't play a game you don't like for a minute longer.
It was before that philosophy had really cemented itself for me. You know, like achievements were still fairly new then, and like people weren't quite sure how they were going to be used or what was cool about them and stuff like that. So it's a poor excuse, but
that's pretty poor.
But that's my reasoning behind it. I've not done anything like that since, and I'm not proud of it. So whatever.
And I've seen your recent ones are like Mass Effect 2 and Bayonetta, and genuinely really good games.
Exactly.
All right.
So,
all right, that works. Yeah, I unfortunately have a lot in my 1,000 club. That I've got Ninja Turtles, I have Night at the Museum, I have Avatar. Got a lot of them. Although I think it kind of stopped with I checked out Dante's Inferno from the vault like a month or two ago, and I had like 940 or 960 achievements in it. And the last achievements, there's just 2 of them. It was just stuff like play through and level up your unholy stuff the whole way. And it was just a matter of time. It's not like it was a hard one or anything, but it got to that point where it's like, all right, I didn't really enjoy this game. Do I really want to? Do I really want to play it even for another couple hours? Even though I know I can get that achievement. Yeah. And I didn't. You know, I don't have the 1,000 on that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just not worth it.
Total side note, actually on topic. I love those bouncy things in this game.
Yeah.
I just remember when I was a kid playing those things. I just loved shooting dudes off into holes in this game.
Oh yeah,
you know,
it's great.
Like, especially in that opening segment when you're like rescuing Zelda from the castle, you knock those guards off those. For one, who builds a castle dungeon with just bottomless pits all over the place? Like you're on your superior's bad list when you get assigned to patrol the bottomless pits
that are everywhere.
Yeah, that are just all over the place.
Well, what's great about that opening thing, and I feel the exact same way as you about that, is there's those pots placed right there. So it's just those guys. Yeah. And like right when you walk in that room, that one goes to the right, and the pot's just waiting for you to pick it up, and you just throw it right at the back of his head. He does a little Wile E. Coyote like shuffle before he falls. Oh, love that part. Now we do this, and we're pretty close to the boss now. So that wasn't too bad. Got a little confused for about 5 minutes. But,
and this dungeon was unique in this game in the way that it was like a combination of like underground and like overworld stuff.
Oh yeah. It's one of the only ones. Actually, there's I think pretty much the only one in this game that does it. You see in like Ocarina, it had that one temple where you had to do some stuff.
Bah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to figure out that you need to stand on those star things. The game's really subtle about it.
I've got this terrifying hand thing coming after me. There we go. Okay, so we're good. Go here. All right. Got it. Right there.
Yeah.
Oh, these guys. Okay, so I got to kill these guys and light torches. And it doesn't disappear when you kill that guy. I thought that was an achievement when you killed him, but he just comes right back.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember. In Ocarina, does it do the same thing?
I don't know. I actually haven't played Ocarina.
You've never played Ocarina?
No, I'm a little bit I'm a little weird on Zelda games actually. I played 1, 2, and this one obsessively, and then stopped because I didn't play Ocarina. I didn't play Majora's Mask. I didn't play the Game Boy ones.
Oh crap!
Baja!
I hate
that
this
ridiculous
so much.
rabbit. I hate that thing.
So was there a reasoning for this, or?
That was just, that was at a time when I could only afford one console.
Right.
And I chose the PlayStation over the N64 at that point for Final Fantasy.
Oh, okay.
So while everyone else was playing N64 games, I was playing PlayStation games generally.
So what about now? You work here, we've got the vault, you clearly have access to it.
I have access to it. I did play Twilight Princess. So Twilight Princess was my first 3D Zelda.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. I liked it quite a bit. I will say though that it is pretty amazing how much the design for Twilight Princess mirrors even the design of like A Link to the Past.
Oh yeah.
I know everyone was saying how much like Ocarina it was, and I can't speak to that, but if that's the case, then Ocarina is also based heavily on this game because
Oh, yeah.
like the whole back and forth and what do you want? A medal? Congratulations, you beat one of the easier bosses in the game.
That's a pretty tough one. The floor is moving around there. You got the spikes. I think I handled that pretty well.
Oh, I love these parts when the crystals get big.
Oh, and you talk to the maidens.
Yeah, I love that.
Get the weird little 3D effect.
Yeah, I always thought like rotating 3D prisms and stuff were just so awesome at this, you know.
The thing that really got me was actually in Super Mario World when you fight Bowser and his flying weird circus thing, and when it would fly at the screen, and it just got huge. I thought that was really cool.
Well, I thought that was kind of cheesy, actually.
Really, even back when it came out?
Yeah,
Huh.
I didn't think that stuff was super awesome, but
Huh. I don't know. 8-year-old
don't get me
Dan
wrong,
was pretty blown away.
that game is still awesome. I mean, there's no two ways around that. But
Mario World or Mario 3?
Mario World.
That's the better one for
Yeah.
you too? Yeah, I think so too. I think Brian actually did a blog post about that, and I think he argued World as well.
No, I think he argued. I don't remember.
I think he was
now.
World. Tim is huge on 3. Says that 3 is definitely the better one. I think Phil might be 2. I mean, it's a
Hey, why are you still wearing the stupid green suit?
because you get the next one in this next dungeon I'm going to.
Okay.
It's in the 5th one, the Ice Palace, is where you get that, and then you get the red one in that kind of like shiny hologram castle at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I'll get the mirror shield up at Turtle Rock. Just gotta find a place to warp back to the light world. There we go. Get rid of this guy. This little effect was cool too. I thought the light shining through the trees.
I love all the fake out master swords in this dungeon.
Yeah. I hate the thieves though that run into you and steal your stuff.
Oh, I like those guys. I like it when games rob me of my accomplishments.
Alright, so now we gotta head up this way. Now we can actually go... Actually, you know what? Let's, we were kind of talking about this before we started recording. Let's go to the 6th one before we go to the 5th one. We'll go a little out of order.
Yeah, that's one of the... like I said, I played this game obsessively, and I would always work around ways to, like... Even when I was a kid, I was trying to break games like that, I guess. Because, like, I would also try and, like, beat the 4 fiends out of order in the original Final Fantasy game, just because you can.
Huh.
Yeah, so when I was playing this and was much more familiar with like every single screen of it and stuff, I love to go and do this. I think it's the 6th dungeon before the 5th dungeon, because that's when you get that cane that can create those blocks.
Yep.
And that just makes the 5th dungeon go so much faster because you don't have to do all that rigmarole with like, hey, I'm going to push this block down here. And I mean, it's kind of like cheating, but
I mean, you earn it. I mean, it's not... I wouldn't say it's cheating. But actually, the reason I'm going up here, just to explain, is I need the Quake medallion before I can get into that dungeon, and I need to be in the Dark World to do that. So I got to go figure out a place to do that.
huh.
There's also, I can get the Ether badge. That's up on Death Mountain in the Light World, but I don't think I'll need that till Turtle Rock, actually.
Oh man, I totally fell for... I was one of those kids that when I played games, I would believe anything anyone would tell me about them.
Yeah.
And there was some rumor in Zelda, in this game I remember, about a 4th kind of magical medallion. That, you know, I mean, as it always is in these kinds of games, like some ridiculous and improbable sequence of events that if you do it just right, you get this like secret, you know?
Right.
And I mean, this may not have even been widespread. This may just be something one of my stupid friends told me to like mess with me. But I remember someone telling me that there was a Tempest medallion that was like a wind-based magic that was a lot stronger. And of course, there's no place in your inventory for it.
Right.
You know, like it's all. But I think they explained that away by saying that it like replaces one of your other medallions, or because like there's one that you don't need.
Well, Bombos, I don't think there's any point where you actually... That's the one that looks like fireworks and the fire goes over. Like, it's cool, but you don't need it.
Yeah. So anyway, I totally believed that, and I spent long hours trying to, you know, satisfy this ridiculous set of imaginary conditions to get some special magic.
I made up a couple of those stories, but it was mostly like when I was playing Mario 3 or one of those old Mario games where you had to take turns with a friend, and I would show him like a pit, and I'd be like, all right, if you fall on the very left edge of this, there's like 5 extra lives, and they'd do it. It would just be my turn.
Yeah. I do that. I mean, I do that to my sister. She still hasn't forgiven me for that, by the way. Like she played Mario or Mega Man, and I'd be like, okay, there's 100 extra guys down there. Like I didn't even keep it believable, you know, which is of course one of the tricks to making someone do something stupid is at least making it seem plausible. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't like, oh, there's 2 extra guys down there. It's like, oh yeah, there's 100 extra guys if you just jump down that pit. And of course, there was only death down that pit.
But you fell for it?
Yeah, she'd fall for it pretty much every time, because then the next time I'd be like, okay, I know I lied to you about that last one, but this time, for real. And that would pretty much just work indefinitely.
It's work.
Yeah, I'm not a good brother, by the way.
So we'll work our way up here. These guys, I think, are only in this area. I don't remember seeing them anywhere else in the game. They're basically just reskinned versions of those Octorok guys from the desert and the light world. But all we have to do here is throw something in, and this fish gets mad at us, and apparently just gives us a gift. He's so mad. So we'll get Quake here, which will give us entrance to the 6th dungeon.
I could never understand what that was supposed to look like right there.
It looks like a catfish.
Yeah, I mean, to me it looked like one of the Koopa kids just poking his head up.
I could see that. Like Morton, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. I just didn't... It's one of those, you know, because of sprite art... It's not like there are some times when I, you know, having grown up and looking back at it being like, oh, that's what that was supposed to look like.
Yeah. We were talking, I think we were having a meeting not too long ago where we were talking about like instruction manuals back, more during like the NES days, to where like you would see something, you'd see like this really nice drawing, and then you'd see it in the game, and it would just be this, it's like, oh, that's what that thing's supposed to be.
Yeah. Oh, I loved this area.
Yeah. Yep, the only time you really go to this area is to go up to this dungeon. But
and of course they resurrect that awesome rain effect too.
Yep, from the very beginning. Yeah, it's a pretty treacherous little swamp area. I don't remember if we actually need to go in here for anything. The actual dungeon's a little bit to our right. Oh, thought I could make it.
Coming weird.
Uh-oh. Nope, that's not. Well, hey, look at that.
Congratulations. You solved a first grader's like mind puzzle.
Pretty proud of myself.
We'll have handwriting class after this, Dan, and then maybe snack time.
We get some carpet squares?
Yeah.
Oh, and I got Quake. And would you look at that? That's not Quake.
Oh, you did not remember this properly.
I guess that's right. You need Quake for Turtle Rock. Alright, so we're going to go on a little trip. It's all necessary stuff anyways, so...
Yeah.
Might as well get this out of the way.
Doesn't make it any less boring.
Thanks, Joe.
Hey, I'm here to help. / put you down.
Awesome. So we'll go past these super annoying
and
guys.
And these guys
again.
look like Goombas to me.
They look like groundhogs to me.
What? No, seriously, they look like those winged Goombas. There's no two ways around that.
Look at
them when they run down towards you.
They don't look like...
Look at when they're facing you.
I'm getting hit by all these giant boulders trying to look at this. Is that your whole plan? Say some nonsense about them looking like Goombas so I'll die from boulders and you can laugh at me?
It is a nice side effect.
Alright, so we'll head up this way. These guys. There's also a cane you can get by jumping through this little series of caves and going across some spikes, but it's totally unnecessary. I never used that cane, so for the sake of time...
I didn't really either. That was the one that made you like invincible for a little while, but it just drained your magic ridiculously fast.
Super fast, and just a little sparkly thing that goes around you. It's just not worth it at all.
Pretty much the only place where it's useful is getting out of the area where you get it with all those spikes on the ground, and that's kind of it.
Well, you can use the magic cape for that. That's how you're supposed to do that, is disappear with the magic cape. Right. Which, actually, you know what? While we're in this area, I will grab that as well. Get ether, which this is my favorite, because you could freeze guys, and then you could pick them up, throw them into water, you could crack them with a hammer.
I love smashing them with a hammer.
Yeah, this is easily my favorite one. Now we will head...
Now hold on. Okay, go over and look at that guy.
Where am I going, to the right?
Yeah, to the right. You tell me that guy does not look like a Goomba with wings. No, over more.
Okay.
I don't know where
he went. What are you talking about, Jim?
One of those little weird dragon
that guy.
Look at that. Look at him when he's facing down. that looks like a Goomba with wings.
Freeze him like that.
Well, he doesn't look like... Now he just looks like a potpourri container.
What? No, it looks like a groundhog, Joe.
All right.
I can kind of see it. His mouth would be all weird, though.
I will reluctantly see the obvious correctness of your point. All right, thanks, Dan. You're very charitable.
All right, so we're going to take this little shortcut back, and that'll take us right to the...
Can you get the bird?
The bird. Oh, this will actually be the quicker way to get to the magic cape. The bird would just drop us off kind of back on the mountain. This will drop us off right by the cape.
Oh, okay.
And then we can take the cape to go get something in the cemetery.
I mean...
I'm waiting for it.
I'm not... You kind of did it to yourself.
Okay, all right. I wonder if that was intentionally designed to make you do that for anyone who
it obviously was.
To just throw you right in that hole.
Yeah. It's brilliant.
Wait, this was Oh, it must be the Dark World.
Oh,
okay.
What do you know? It brings us right to where the bird would have dropped us off. Huh.
No, the bird would not drop you off here. It drops you off on top of that rock right there, so I would have had to go through all this stuff. So, if we get to the Dark World, there's a couple of little fun things we can do around here. Oh god, I hate these things.
For someone who's talking a big game about how fast you can beat this, you sure seem to not really know where you're going.
I beat it in 5 hours.
Well, I mean, I did too, but I don't pretend like I could still do that.
At no point did I claim I would beat this in 5 hours.
Okay.
No, I'm guessing 7 or 8 segments. We're making pretty good time, though.
Yeah.
See, in my speed run, I wasn't doing all this stuff. I wasn't getting...
Yeah, you don't go out of the way to get hard containers and stuff like that. You just burn through it. You do speed runs very often?
It's not really a thing that I got into. I mean, I did it like, with like Symphony of the Night. Like, that's one of my favorite games of all time, and that's one of them like I had to get every achievement for on Xbox Live Arcade. So I did the like Ryckert speed run. I did that. But it's not something I generally do. And I don't do the like 3 hard run-throughs or beat Symphony without leveling up type of things. I don't do that.
Yeah, I don't like the ones that are just like kind of arbitrary restrictions.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, another example of me falling for something that someone told me was, so like you get the, I think it's in Super Metroid, you get the best ending if you beat it in under 3 hours, I think.
Huh.
But someone had told me that it was 2 hours. I think that's how it works.
So you tried to beat it in 2 hours? And
So I tried to beat the whole game in under 2 hours. This is one of the 2 speedruns I've ever attempted. And I actually did it. There are lots of little glitches and things you can exploit in that game and to do it pretty quick. My final time ended up being, I think, about 150 or so. Yeah, that was but it turns out that like someone had told me that, hey, you get the even better ending if you beat it in under 2 hours. And I did, and found out that it was the exact same ending.
Now, were you mad at that point, or was there a certain sense of pride?
I was mad at that point because it was the exact same thing that I just spent a lot of, I just wasted a lot of effort trying to accomplish. But at the same time, I mean, like, that does mean that now I can talk about how I beat Super Metroid in under 2 hours once.
Yeah.
I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
The only other speedrun that I've done is on Braid, actually.
Did you get that achievement for beating it in under...
Yep.
Really?
Yep, there's an achievement in Braid for beating it under 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's the only one I didn't get. I just didn't think I'd be able to do it.
No, it's rough. Not that I mean, I can talk about it because it's not really like... It's not a question of being like, oh, I'm so good at that game. Like, it's very mechanical. It's just knowing what to do and being able to, do it precisely. And like, it really just takes, it takes a time investment more than a particular level of skill, just to learn it. But yeah, that's an example of, even though Braid doesn't have 1,000 achievement points in it, that's still an example of one of those that like a game that I just loved so much that I wanted to keep playing. So.
Yeah, even Xbox Live Arcade games, like there's certain games like that where you still want to do it. I really wanted to do it with Carcassonne. I loved Carcassonne and got all of it with that. I believe this is where we're going to get the cape. And then we can use the cape to get that heart piece we saw back there.
Yeah, this is way better than actually doing that dungeon.
People might want to see how you get these things.
Yeah.
If They've stuck out 4 hours already.
Yeah, when people think back to this game, they're like, oh man, I remember getting that cape, and I remember blowing up a landmine under some shrubs. Those are the real standouts. Certainly not that awesome marsh temple.
We're getting there. We're getting there. A couple little asides before we get to that temple. This is all like... This is a weird area where you just never actually have to go to this area.
Right.
There's no dungeons here. There's no reason to go here unless you want to get a bunch of secret stuff.
Now those dudes who are throwing the bombs around. If I remember this correctly, that was one of those things where it's like when you first run into them and you have your weak sword. You do have your weak sword, or do you have the master sword at that point?
First time you run into him is right when you come to the Dark World and you come down that pyramid thing, and so at that point you would have the master sword.
Okay.
But you wouldn't have like this red one.
Right, but okay, so then in the first iteration, like I just remember those things taking forever to kill.
Yeah.
That you just sit there and hack away at them, and they...
Oh yeah, I'd throw pots and signs and all sorts of stuff at them, and just took forever to kill those guys. Alright. So we have one more errand to run, and then we will go to your precious dungeon, Joe.
Oh, alright.
Although I don't remember what's in here. Let's go look in here. I'm just going to bug you by just going into everything I see now. Oh, this guy. Oh, yeah, you never want to do this. Yeah, I'm dealing with that with 3D dot game heroes now. There's tons of these characters where it's like, hey, give me, 10 gold and I'll tell you something. And it's super obvious. Then he's like, hey, give me 100 gold and I'll tell you something really cool. And it's like, oh, this has got to be awesome. And then it sucks. And
well, you think that, but like that's the problem is in those games there's always that one guy that if you pay them enough money incrementally over time, they like, oh, hey, you've been a good customer. Here's the best weapon in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm struggling with right now is because, there's a lot of like little jokes, like self-aware jokes in 3D dot game heroes. So I wonder if that's almost poking fun at that from these type of games because there's literally just a well at one point. And I just keep going up and I'm just throwing money over and over into this well and just getting crap for the most part. Like I'll throw in 20 gold and get 1 gold in return over and over and over again. And some part of me keeps thinking like, okay, I'm gonna get rewarded at some point here. But hasn't happened yet.
If only there were a community of people online who had played this game and were willing to post, I don't know, like some of the questions people frequently ask about that kind of thing.
I don't want spoilers.
I don't know. 3D dot game hero spoiler. Yeah. Let me tell you what, Dan. Spoiler. There's a boss at the end of the dungeon. You need an item to get through it. You want to save the princess.
That's how most of the dungeons have gone so far. So
yeah,
I doubt it's gonna swerve me too bad. All right, so we're gonna go right to this dungeon now, and we will be able to get right in there, and probably beat it. We'll probably beat it in this segment here. I only need one more heart piece though for full one, Joe.
Not my problem, Dan.
All right, we'll go here. I think there might be one here actually. Let's take a look. Alright. This is another area where there's some enemies that you just don't see anywhere else. You don't see those little snake characters. When you go to this area in the light world, those sand monsters are only right there.
Oh, yeah.
Hurts you.
I couldn't figure out what those things were. Like, they look like tiny rhinoceroses with wings.
The horned birds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like those. You're pretty close to dying here,
I am. Pretty close.
No, you should. Do it.
All right, we'll see what he has to say. I got plenty of disposable income right now.
Yeah.
Let's see what he has to say. Monster magic is making it rain in the swamp. If you can move the air... Yeah, so that's... Yeah. Oh, well, okay.
See,
he filled up my
it.
health. All
Worth
right.
it.
I didn't know he did that. All right. It was worth it. I got my cool laser sword. I was hoping there'd be a heart piece in here. All right. No more errands. Going straight to the dungeon.
I don't know. Hey, Dan, if you give me $20, I'll tell you a very profitable story.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you've taken my wallet like twice in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not giving you my wallet anymore.
Fair enough.
I don't think you've ever actually done anything with my wallet, but it's still enough to give me a little
Not that you've
anxious.
noticed, yeah.
Oh,
that's
okay.
fair.
Cool. All right, don't need the ferry. See, I didn't need to pay the 20 rupees. I could have gone right in there.
Yeah, but see, that way I don't get the pleasure of watching you waste your money.
That's true. Now I only have 979 rupees. All right, so now we will do this. This one's not a particularly rough dungeon, if I remember right.
I don't think so.
There's those wizard guys that appear and shoot stuff at you that does some serious damage if it hits you, but it's nothing too rough. Boss of this. Oh, I think the boss of this is... Actually, no, the big eye that goes around is in the ice one. I guess we'll find out. Alright. It's also the one to introduce the hook shot, which is awesome. What was it in Twilight Princess? Was it like a claw shot or something?
This game is the one?
This one introduced the hook shot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't remember what they call it in Twilight Princess.
I remember it's not the traditional hook shot. It's like a claw or something.
Yeah, they might call it the claw shot or something. And then, I mean, you get two of them, too, which is...
Oh, yeah, it's like a dual wield.
Yeah. We were debating about this earlier also, but I think this is also the game to introduce the concept of Ganondorf, as opposed to just Ganon. I could be wrong in that I don't remember for certain that they actually call him Ganondorf.
I'm pretty sure they don't. Then again, like, the text of this game is definitely, like, low on the things I paid attention to.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
I know for a fact that this is the game to introduce the concept of, like, Ganon, before he was this, like, giant sort of boar monster thing.
Yeah.
Was a this game, I think, is the one that said he was a human thief who went into the dark world, and it ended up, like, corrupting him and turning him into, the monster that he is.
Yeah, and it introduced that concept.
Hey, that was worth it. Nice little detour, Dan.
Thanks, Joe. Thought I could slip that one by.
Yeah,
I noticed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is the first one, I think, to really introduce the concept of the Triforce. Basically, like, if you're a greedy person and you come into contact with it, it corrupts you. If you're pure, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think the thought was that Ganondorf was just this really greedy thief, and he got hold of the Triforce and became this giant boar monster.
Yeah.
Which, Zelda 2, it's a really polarizing one, the NES one. It's the one I never really got into. I think I beat it back when I was like 10 or something, but I haven't really returned to it. Does that one, I know you fight Shadow Link at the end of that. Mm-hmm. Is there any reference to Ganon whatsoever in that one?
Yeah, the reference to Ganon in that one is when you die. He's on the game over screen.
That's right. Isn't it like just a really ominous red screen with like a black silhouette head?
Yeah, it's like game over, Return of Ganon or something like that.
And that's it? Like, you just don't see him anywhere else?
Yeah, that's pretty much it in that one.
Weird.
But, yeah, I've actually been considering going back and playing, because, like, I actually own all of the, I own the Zelda games, the one, like, the GameCube re-release of,
the collector's edition one, the gray disc.
Yeah, the one that has Ocarina and Majora's Mask on it.
Yep.
And then
1 and 2.
I also have Wind Waker.
Yeah, I think that was actually a pre-order bonus for Wind Waker.
Okay, probably.
But then they also had the one that had Master Quest on it, and I can never remember which is which. Like, why the Master Quest was given away for free. I think maybe if you register stuff on Nintendo.com or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I've just been thinking about going back and playing some of those. But it's kind of hard to, like, especially when this is gonna sound bad, but like, especially when the formula for the Zelda games seems so similar. Like, I know that each one has its redeeming qualities to it. But with so many other, like, current games coming out that I want to play, it's kind of hard for me to carve out the time for an old one that, But then again, it is Ocarina of Time, which people say, people make compelling arguments for the best game of all time for, so.
Yeah. And I haven't, like, everyone I talked about Ocarina, it's always people that played it, in 98 or whatever. So I've never met someone who just, like, picked it up in the late 2000s and tried it. So I'd be curious to see what somebody would think about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be interesting. If anyone on here listening has done that, you should probably let us know in the comments how it went, see how well it's aged. I mean, looking at it, obviously it's an older game, but I think games like Metal Gear Solid, I think the first one aged way worse than Ocarina. I mean, oh god, Metal Gear 1 is easily one of my top 3 favorite games of all time. But,
Metal Gear 1 or Metal Gear Solid?
Metal Gear Solid 1. Yeah.
Okay.
But man, it did not age well at all.
Well, just to explain, I played the Twin Snake. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to actually say something?
Oh yeah, I was just going to say real
related?
quick. Yeah, for people that are wondering what this cape does, I just kind of picked it up without explaining it. It lets you kind of disappear, and you can just walk through things like spikes and things like that without taking any damage. much. But yeah, you were saying something about Twin Snakes?
Yeah, Silicon Knights and Kojima Productions collaborated on that Twin Snakes GameCube remake, which I think is not definitely not is not the way to experience that game for the first time.
No.
But for me, I actually like going back and replaying that one.
Gameplay-wise, it's definitely the superior thing. I remember I was so excited about Twin Snakes when I heard about that concept. Just remaking the game, giving it the Metal Gear 2 controls, brand new cutscenes that were really, directed well. And then they did one of the weirder things I've ever seen a company do. They released a 27-minute trailer. And I remember watching this in the dorms in college. Yeah. And it was 27 minutes, and it was virtually every cutscene, basically, from the game.
Yeah.
And that was kind of one of the reasons to get it, was to see what they would do with the cutscenes, and it showed everything.
Well, you don't want to keep going down there?
I don't think so. I think I'm going to go over here, and there's some more key stuff that...
Oh, okay.
I've got 2 extra keys, so... But yeah, Twin Snakes, the whole handling of that was weird. I mean, it was nice to see what they did with it as a big Metal Gear fan, but...
And, I mean, I know Kojima gets some crap for his cutscenes, which, I mean, I like them, so whatever. Yeah. But it may seem kind of weird to criticize the cutscenes in Twin Snakes, but I just thought that they were a little too ridiculous.
Yeah, I think
it's one thing to have long and sort of weird cutscenes.
Yeah.
But it's another thing to have the snake surfing on a missile kind of cutscenes, It just seemed out of place.
Yeah, that was the one that really got me too. He backflips over that missile from the hind that Liquid's in, and he propels himself off it, flies up, and in midair hits Liquid's helicopter with the thing. And remember the one where you first meet Gray Fox?
Yeah,
and,
I was thinking about that too, because one of the things that made that so scary is that you didn't see all of it happen.
Right.
Is that all of a sudden you walk into this room and there's a bunch of dead bodies, and then you just hear the noises, you see the bodies, and then you get that one scene of Gray Fox holding the dude up on his sword.
Yeah, and the one guy kind of stumbles around the corner saying it's a ghost.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome and creepy. And in Twin Snakes, that kind of takes the magic away by just showing Gray Fox mutilate everyone.
Yeah. Well, I was referring to the very first time you see Gray Fox, which is when after you beat Revolver Ocelot, and he comes down and slices his hand off. Because remember,
you use that key down there?
I got another one. I'm going down.
Okay.
I know where I'm going. But it's when he jumps up and he does this weird twirly thing with his sword, which cuts out a perfect square out of the ceiling, and he backflips and kicks it at Ocelot.
Oh yeah.
It's so weird, and I'm not looking for realism with Metal Gear, but just don't give me a cartoon.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, so I think we're actually making some pretty good time through this dungeon. The big key is the one big thing we need here. But yeah, I mean, for anyone, that's the thing. For anyone who hasn't played Metal Gear Solid and has just heard all this stuff about it, it kind of sucks because where do they go? I mean, they go to the first one and it's just aged so poorly, or they go to Twin Snakes.
I don't know that the first one is well. I
It's
don't know
rough.
that it's aged as poorly as. I mean, I don't know that it's aged worse than any other game of that era.
That's a good point. Yeah, and I mean, it's worth noting that those graphics looked awesome back then. They looked great. But then again, so did stuff like Siphon Filter, and now it looks terrible. I can't go through that. Okay, so I need to go. I should probably just use my lantern and conserve. I need to go over here anyway. This was a constant puzzle in this game. It's just light 4 torches.
Yeah.
And something happens. This is actually doing something in the room to the right of me right now. It's extending it. I think this should lead me to the big key. You ever see them doing a current gen remake of Metal Gear?
No.
You think it's, they've done it once, that boat's sailed?
Yeah, I think that sailed, and I think it's I mean, I think Kojima is definitely has said that he's a little bit tired of Metal Gear all the time.
He's said that since 2, though.
Well, I mean, he has, but at some point it's got to stick.
Yeah.
Or I mean, if nothing else, I don't think he's ever going to be done with it. As long as that franchise is still viable, he's still going to be attached to it.
Right.
But I guess what I mean is I think that it's probable that or I think the thing that makes the remake unlikely is just that like there aren't going to be unnecessary. He's not going to revisit it unnecessarily.
Yeah,
you know,
I can see that.
And like I just don't think it's necessary to go back to that one.
I'm actually surprised to see him so involved on Peace Walker. You know, I thought 4 was such a good way to basically wrap everything up with that series, and then for him to come back and direct Peace Walker kind of surprised me.
Oh, I like the idea of more Big Boss.
I do too. I just don't know if I want to play it on a PSP, you know?
Yeah.
I'd much rather just play it on a PS3. Alright, so here's the cane we were talking about, Cane of Samaria. And basically you can just create blocks with this. And actually, I think you can beat this dungeon without picking that up. I don't think you need that for anything. I mean, there's definitely not a boss where you need to like create, maybe to get into the boss room or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's some kind of like swamp monster thing in this level. And I was just in the big key area, and I need to find my way back now. I'll head down this way. You let out a little chuckle every time I get hit.
Yeah, well. Not every time you get hit, just the times you didn't get hit like a particular chump.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's fair enough. Okay, so do I need to... Actually, that probably won't be necessary. I'll just go down here. Yep, this will work.
See? Or you do it to yourself sometimes, too.
Yeah. Just trying to get through it. I wonder if I have to light those torches again, or if it...
I think it stays.
Stuck? Okay. So, this should drop me down here, and we should be at the boss within a minute or two here. Yep. Got 4 fairies in the bottle, got a powered up sword, shouldn't be too rough. Here. Yep. When was the last time you think you played this game?
Man. I don't know, when did it come out?
90, I think 92 in the States, maybe 91 in Japan.
Okay, I mean, probably around 1995 or so.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's been a long time.
Yeah, this is the one game from my childhood that I make a point to beat like at least once a year. So
Huh.
I think I've kept that up at least once a year. Oh God. Oh, okay. Here's where the cane comes in handy.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other option here. What is that key door there? How do I even get another key? Okay, I'm gonna just do this so I stop getting pelted by every single fireball in here.
That'd be good.
Okay, so get that there. Okay, so I guess you do need it to get to the boss.
Yep.
You don't need it to fight him. Oh God. Oh God. You know the trick with the magic powder with those guys?
Yeah, turn them into fairies.
Yep.
It's like the only thing that stupid powder is good for.
Yeah, it makes bushes disappear. It turns the weird Gumby guys into like a Groucho Marx thing. It takes your magic power down by half, or the magic required for your items. That's pretty significant.
When you get that, that's what it does?
It's when you sprinkle it. There's this bat in Kakariko Village. You go down into this cave, and a weird statue.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that now.
Yep, you sprinkle it on the jewel, and this bat like tries to hurt you by doing it, but he actually ends up helping you out.
That's right.
Yep. All right, so here. Oh, okay. Do that. Oh God, jeez, what a Jesus. Forgot about that. That seems unnecessary. All right, keep moving. So after this, we have the Ice Palace, which is kind of a tough one.
And that's the 5th dungeon that we've skipped over.
Yeah, although it probably will be a lot, we'll get through it a lot quicker thanks to this cane I just picked up.
Yeah.
And then after that, since we've already beat this, we'll be going to up to Turtle Rock, which is up on Death Mountain, which that one has probably the coolest boss in the game. That's the 2-headed dragon that you shoot the fire and ice rods at.
Oh, yeah, that was...
Awesome boss fight. Absolutely love that one. It's kind of like the Twin Rovo one, and if you haven't played Ocarina, it's like 2 witches that fly around, one's fire, one's ice, and you have to like use your shield to absorb their energy and throw it back at the other one.
Okay.
Great fight. Oh boy, this isn't gonna end well. Oh, okay, maybe it will. Alright, boss fight time. I know I won't use the boomerang, but I always have to have it in the slot.
That's a good go-to.
Oh, actually, hook shot. This guy. Oh wait, maybe not? Just hit it? Alright. Do that. Yeah, this guy is... Oh, jeez, except for that. As I'm about to talk about how easy he is. Just nails me with lightning.
Yeah, if only he obviously telegraphed when he was going to shoot his lightning beam.
Oh, yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah. How about that?
Alright. And then if I remember right, you kill all these little eyeballs, and then he starts sliding all over the place.
He starts bouncing, I think, right?
Yeah. I'm about to lose. Yep. It's alright. Came prepared. Did you ever do the thing where you go to the ferry down to the lake and you just give absurd amounts of money to her and she increases your bombs and arrows?
Probably.
Wow, that lightning takes a lot of your health away.
Yeah.
I should probably stop being so cavalier about this fight.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, eyes up. Get out of there. Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. All right. Oh, no. Okay. We're the easy part now. Yep, bouncing. Does he even have an attack other than that?
No, it's just
Jeez.
bouncing.
Nothing.
I love the noise they make when you hit the bosses.
Oh.
The
And then when you kill him... Wait. Yep.
Yeah.
Where is it? Yep. Super satisfying. Alright. So now, we'll probably head to this next dungeon. We'll actually go through the next dungeon on the next segment, but we'll get there at the tail end of this one. And then from there, let's say, we'll probably get almost to the end in the next segment, and then probably maybe be done in the sixth segment, but we'll see how it goes.
Huh. I always thought of Dan being more the, shooing women into the clutches of evil monsters kind of guy.
Right, yeah. Nice. It's a more clever way of going about it. Reiner and Tim just made fun of me for picking my own name.
Yeah, I mean, only dorks do that, so...
I didn't do it every time.
It doesn't, ever.
Every once in a while. I was 7 when I played this game.
I didn't say anything about it because it speaks for itself.
Okay.
You do that and it's just like, hey, everyone, I'm a dork.
That's what I'm trying to say. Alright, I think we should actually be able to get pretty close to this dungeon. Yeah, we'll just go right down here. And swim up here. And this is actually where the ferry is that I just talked about with Joe, where you can level up your bombs and arrows, but I don't really think that's going to be necessary for this playthrough. So, for time's sake, I will just go to the dungeon.
Man, now we're saving time. Before we can do a little Aaron running Link getting the stupid magic cape.
That was just to annoy you, though.
Okay.
Yeah, with Reiner and Tim and Brian, I was just blazing through it. So. Yeah. All the heart pieces and stuff were for you. And I'm immediately going in here because that thing will eat your shield. And I think this is probably a good place to stop and save. And we will pick up at this dungeon with the next segment. It'll be the 5th one. Joe, thanks for joining me on this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone.